Good morning, CI1s. Today we're going to talk about fluid management as it pertains to crystalloids, colloids, and blood products, and everything related to that. You've probably heard an attending say that everything's going fine as long as air goes in and out and blood goes round and round. Well, that's true to a point. But as you study, think about the possible benefits and harms that can occur when you both over and under resuscitate a patient with the fluids we'll be discussing.
Your first objective is fluid status. How are you going to determine a patient's maintenance fluid requirements? What are you going to do to give those fluids back to the patient? And then how do you estimate their fluid losses? And what are you going to do about that during an X hour long procedure? This is something that's going to be important for every case you do, so really get this down. Next, you're going to learn about all of the different crystalloid fluid solutions you have available to you. One thing that you should focus on is the properties of each one of these types of fluids, what their electrolyte content is, their osmolarity, and clinical situations in which you would use one over the other. Next are colloids and blood products. There are quite a few varieties of blood products available, and you use them in very different situations and to treat different problems. So for this objective, focus on what type of blood products you have available to you and when you would reach for each one. And lastly, consider why we don't administer starches anymore. While this isn't clinically relevant because it's just something we don't do, this is something that does come up on boards. So just at least have some understanding of why we don't do this anymore. For your next objective, you're going to learn about massive transfusion, what the indications for initiation of the massive transfusion protocol are, and then what happens when you do initiate that protocol. What comes up from the blood bank, what doesn't come up, and what do you have to order specially. The last thing you're going to learn about today is transfusion reactions. Now, not only is this important because it can cause a lot of harm to your patients, but it's pretty heavily tested for boards. So today, focus on what complications can result from a transfusion of blood products, which products are typically to blame for these reactions, and how you differentiate between the types of reactions by their mechanism. I included a really useful review at the end of this video that breaks the reactions down by how they occur and what clinical manifestations you can expect to see.
And here are some additional resources to aid your studying. I'd recommend the Faust chapters. They're pretty succinct to the point. And I found this Lancet article from 2016 really helpful in discussing the different types of transfusion reactions and how to remember what each one is and what causes each one.